Attack on Titan 2 and its DLC Final Battle is a game that covers in total 90 chapters of the absolutely incredible manga and anime by Hajime Isayama. That's right, Attack on Titan was so good they actually made a second one. Kind of. We'll get into that later. Published by Koei Tecmo and developed by Omega Force, AOT2 is an action-oriented hack-and-slash style game, similar to the absolutely iconic Dynasty Warriors series, also developed by Omega Force. As for Attack on Titan, it needs absolutely no introduction. And you know what? I'm not gonna give you one. I'm just kind of assuming that you've watched the series, because guess what? It doesn't need one. It's Attack on fucking Titan. What do you think? Welcome to Attack on Titan 2. We're not going to cover the first game in the series, Wings of Freedom, as that mostly just follows the plot of the main series. Attack on Titan 2 does almost the same thing. Almost. The biggest difference is the fact that the game comes from your point of view. This game is a self-insert game, much like Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 and 2. We'll get to what that means for the story a bit later on, but as you probably know by now with these videos, we're going to talk gameplay first and then head on to the story proper. I put chapters beneath the video if you want to jump right to the story, but I really don't recommend you do that. The movement is really good. Like, really good, and I want to convince you to play the game, so just please sit here and listen for a little bit. Or don't, I can't force you to do anything. Anyways, right off the bat, I experienced this game with the easy controls options turned off, along with playing on controller. I did try to use keyboard and mouse for a bit, but I really don't suggest you do that in your run. Pretty much everything except for how the ODM gear actually feels is incredibly clunky. Your ground-based movement is simple. Run, jump, camera, blah blah blah, you know the drill. Pressing your anchor button fires your ODM gear's anchors into a nearby object, pulling you up into the air and moving you forward. Pressing a direction while in the air will start to angle you in that direction, and then you can simply press the gas button to boost yourself in that direction. On top of that, grappling to a wall and letting go of your anchor button will have you run along the wall at a comical speed in comparison to your ground speed. Then comes the second half of ODM gear movement. ODM gear skirmishes. When near a Titan, hitting your lock-on button begins to target the different sections of a Titan. Pressing your attack button here brings you into an ODM skirmish, where you sink your anchors into a Titan and begin orbiting around it in your ODM gear. When you get close to the target, press the attack button again to slash out. If you press your jump button without holding a movement input, you'll blast forward at a much faster speed and deal more damage by properly timing the input. There's also a few other attack modes. Capturing Titans is done by, depending on the size, destroying their limbs and firing a capture net at them. Sneak attacks require you to hold down a button on an unsuspecting Titan before jetting at it at Mach Funk and dealing a hilarious amount of damage. You can press in your control sticks, or the associated buttons on keyboard and mouse, and activate a sort of super mode where your blades turn into thunder spears and can absolutely annihilate pretty much any Titan you hit. There's also the anti-personnel ODM gear, even if it doesn't really make much sense at this point in the story for everybody to have access to it, which allows you to play a much more ranged style of combat. Anti-personnel ODM gear controls differently than your standard bladed combat. It's also both hilariously powerful and the clunkiest thing in the game. Your stealth attack input becomes a fire button. Pressing it once will fire a single shot, and holding it will fire multiple. While anchored to a Titan, you fire with only one hand. Pressing the fire button when in the air, locked onto a Titan, and without an anchor, will fire both. And that sounds pretty complicated or really annoying when I say it out loud, but trust me, once you're actually playing the game, you get used to it very, very, very quickly. Single-hand shots are more accurate but less deadly. Two-handed shots are less accurate but deal more damage. Locking on is weird here. It automatically locks onto whatever section of the Titan is the closest. Now, this is well and good if it weren't for boss abnormals. Boss abnormals have weak spots you need to explicitly target to take down what is essentially a shield. Now, with Blade ODM gear, this isn't nearly a problem. You have lock-ons and assists to hit whatever specific section you're targeting. However, with anti-personnel gear, you're gonna just kind of have to get lucky because your targeting is jank as all hell. There's no manual way to switch what bit you're targeting outside of moving towards it and hoping you do. The funny thing is, though, this stuff's fucking insane. The footage you see here is from 13 hours in, and me trying guns out for the first time. Basically, I barely upgraded any of this gear, and it's still one-tapping Titans before I even need to think about them getting close. Which is really good, because this game is deadly. Titans are as terrifying to fight as they are in the actual anime for you and your allies. If you get grabbed, or your friend gets grabbed, you have one shot at getting out. Mash the indicated button or use an assist to get yourself out unless you want to get eaten. And speaking of assists, given that I've mentioned them twice, it's about time I explain them. In combat, you have access to up to 4 other party members who can come and deliver assist attacks ranging from flashbangs, simple blade attacks, healing, etc, etc. All of this comes together for an incredibly fun and good combat system. Sure, it's a bit difficult at times, but when you get going, you get going. Jumping from rooftop to rooftop when in a city map, launching yourself halfway across the battlefield to take down an abnormal by getting a clean shot on the nape is just so fucking good and satisfying. The best part about all of it is that the physics of it work, and that sounds weird to say, but allow me to explain. If you use your ODM gear without gas, it will be slow, but you can still use it to get onto a wall and wall run. You can then jump off a building and use the downwards momentum to swing away faster than you can run on the ground. And you may notice there, I said without gas. That's because resource management is incredibly important in this game. Both your blades and your gas run out over time, requiring you to constantly be paying attention to how much you have left and gauge when it'd be best to run and resupply. Sure, you can dump all your gas and blades to take down one abnormal, but if that fails, you're not going to have a very good shot at getting away without any help. There's some other gameplay related things that are directly connected to the story, so we're just going to cover those in the story section, which is right now, actually. First up, spoiler warning. Obviously, it's Attack on Titan, and if you haven't been spoiled by now, what the fuck are you doing on this video? Second, I'm just going to assume you have knowledge of characters from the original story, because there's so many that I'm not going to be able to cover every single friggin' backstory. Third, it's hard to talk about a story like this when it's basically just the plot of the actual anime up until a very specific point. I've gone back and forth on it over the past few days and decided we're just going to cover the plot as it comes along from our character's point of view. Cool? Cool. Let's get into it. 100 years ago, Titans appeared. Humanity hid itself away behind massive walls for years and eventually found peace, only for the peace to be taken away when the colossal Titan broke through the outermost wall, Maria, and obliterated the district of Shiganshina.
奴らに支配されていた恐怖を鳥かごの中に囚われていた屈辱を巨人だ穴を開けられた無事でよかったわ怪我はないか早く避難しようおい立てるか船まで走るんだ駆逐してやるこの世から一匹残らず
The game opens up with a peek into the future, specifically of the female Titan fight near the end of the first season. But before we can even think about that, we get shown a journal. Our journal. Like I said earlier, Attack on Titan 2 features your own custom character. Our characters from Shiganshina. In fact, just like Eren, Armin, and Mikasa, everyone we know and love was also turned to mush in the Titan breach. On top of the Colossal appearing, so did the Armored Titan. The Armored Titan is actually the one that threw the rocks that killed our parents here in the opening cutscene. It's also our entire motivation throughout the entire plot, and I want you to remember that. It's here where we hear Eren's declaration to kill all the Titans, a goal we completely agree with because, yeah. We jump ahead to joining the 104th Cadet Corps alongside, and yes, I'm going to say every single one of the names, Aaron Yeager, Mika Sackerman, Armin Arlet, Rainer Braun, Bertolt Hoover, Andy Leonhardt, John Kirstein, Marco Bott, Connie Springer, Sasha Brous, Ymir, Mina Carolina, and Thomas Wagner. Also Krista, I almost forgot her. I forgot to write her in the script, but she's there too. The first real mission of the game is ODM gear training. I already talked in detail about how the ODM gear operates, so I'll just talk about the mission itself. The level design really lends itself to helping you learn how to use the ODM gear. You go from a small enclosed area to a section with a bunch of trees to a completely open area, back to more trees, this time with Titan cutouts to try and help you learn how to actually fight them in these different areas. And each one of these areas is suited to teach you how the movement and combat works, gradually changing the environment and letting you try out more and more difficult ODM gear moves or just different ones in general. It's cool as shit, and I really love it as an opening mission. Upon completion of the ODM gear training, we're sent to go talk to the man, the myth, the legend, Keith Shadis, along with Thomas and Mina. These two are established pretty early on as our characters' first friends within the Cadet Corps. This, to me, is awesome, because in the original story, you know how much screen time this pair gets. We actually learn a bit more about them here than we do in the anime, and honestly, it's awesome. I can't say anything else. It's awesome. Sure, it's not much in the grand scheme of things. You're glorified study buddies. But still, it's nice getting interactions like this, even if they're really not much. This leads us to another gameplay element, actually. The friendship system. Every named character, and I mean it when I say every named character, has a friendship level that can be increased both in and out of combat. It's incredibly similar to the way that Fire Emblem Three Houses does things, and I will not miss an opportunity to talk about Three Houses because I love that game. Raise your friendship with characters and you'll unlock more interactions with them, and then when you hit certain thresholds, you gain new skills to equip to help you get stronger and stronger. It's a system that not only incentivizes you to hang out with the characters outside of just the missions and the main story, but it's also one that incentivizes you to consistently hang out with them. After a while, I stopped caring about getting the skills from the friendship trees and just getting more interactions with pretty much every single character in the game. And every time that one of those characters got permanently taken out, I was sad. Not because I lost out on skills, but because I wouldn't be able to talk to them anymore. And it's such a good system for getting you attached, especially in a series like Attack on Titan, where those character interactions are so crucial to every single little moment. Honestly, I'm actually going to take this moment to talk about a few of the interactions in the friendship line I like the most. The entire friendship line with Sasha is hilarious and sweet. Sure, it's simple, she's just learning to use her country accent as opposed to the fake polite one she uses because she's embarrassed by her real one, but it's nice. Bertholtz is also pretty neat, showing him learning that he's not actually a detriment to Reina and anyone else he's around. Reina's is actually up there too, a story of him learning to work as a team with quite possibly my favorite section in any of these friendship lines, with subtle foreshadowing at the end.
ライナー、君は兵士じゃない。戦士だろう。
The entirety of Levi's squad shares a storyline, though not friendship ranks, where they try to figure out a good gift to give Levi. It's dumb, funny, wholesome, and a good extra bit of interaction with Levi's squad before the point they're relevant in the plot. Honorable mentions also go to Hanji and her entire line of increasingly more and more crazy jobs she has you run, Armin and his feelings of combat incompetency and discovering even further how good he is at the logistical side of things. Aaron's friendship line, because it's just the two of you bonding over fucking hating Titans until Aaron feels like he's not able to fight since everyone is protecting him, and Mikasa beating the shit out of you and then feeling bad and being an awkward goober for the rest of the ranks, with the occasional peek into her feelings for Aaron. We're gonna talk a little bit more about the friendship system in just a bit, but let's get back to the story first. Boot camp comes and goes, and we jump forward by 3 years. Before the 104th can fully graduate, we're sent with the Garrison Regiment to the Tross District, located just on the southern edge of Wall Rose. It's here where tragedy strikes again. The Colossal Titan reappears just like it did in Shiganshin and breaks down the wall into Trost, allowing Titans to get in. This is our first proper story quest mission. Big missions like this are broken up into multiple parts that don't allow you to head back to the hub to continue friendships and training. The first section of the Trost attack is taking down the Titans that enter the wall. It's your first use of Titan combat against moving enemies. It's a bit more difficult than just taking down wooden targets, but you can get used to it pretty quickly. When you take down the Titans here, the mission is over. Section 2 of the mission takes place during the Trost defense mission, with us taking the middle guard while the Garrison Regiment takes the vanguard and rear positions. We have one goal: eliminate every single Titan.
部隊は総崩れじゃねえか。決して楽観視していたわけじゃなかったが、これはあまりにも寄港した。何しやがる。待て、よくも通らず。やめて、やめてください。
そんな、なんで僕は仲間が食われている光景を眺めているんだ。どうして僕の体は動かないんだ。
死ねるか。アルミ、お前が教えてくれたから俺は外の世界へ。
Next section, we get a cutscene showing Eren saving Armin from a Titan, being eaten in the process. Everything is going to shit. Thomas and Mina both get killed. Mikasa is emotional because Eren seems to be dead. And then, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a Titan that fights other Titans shows up and begins kicking ass. We use this to our advantage and fight off the Titans, soon discovering that the Titan who helped us is our boy, Eren Yeager. The military, being biased against Titans, because duh, figures it's best to shoot him with a cannon. Eren transforms part of his body into his Titan form to protect Armin and Mikasa. Then one man, General Pixis, vouches for the group and gives us a new goal. Use Eren's Titan form and plug up wall rows. The mission to retake Trost is genuinely one of my favorites in the entire game. Working alongside Eren as he carries the boulder out to the wall while defending him from Titans is just a really cool fucking feeling. It's just a fun mission. That's really all you need to know about it. Other than that, not much else. A mishap with losing control of his Titan form for a bit in the mission leads to Eren being put on trial. It's here where one of the other regiments, the Scout Regiment, takes responsibility for Eren, saying that they'll show he's a help to humanity or he's going to die. So, that was Chapter 1. Sadly, we lost quite a few allies. Marco, Thomas, and Mina all die here. If you didn't max out their friendship at this point, you lose out on all of their skills you could get by increasing that friendship. This also applies to characters who leave for plot purposes, stuff like characters who join other regiments and such in the story. Basically, it's Attack on Titan. Savor the moments you have with the characters you like, because they will probably die or leave you alone. Back to the story though, Eren gets taken in by the scouts, and we get brought in along with him due to our astonishingly good Titan killing capabilities. A lot of things happen around this time. So let's just talk about the major players in the Scouts first. Levi is one of the greatest members of the Scouts and the leader of their special ops called Levi Squad, consisting of Eld, Oro, Petra, and Gunther. Gunther. I honestly still have no idea how to pronounce this man's name. I've heard it like 500 different ways pronounced, but whatever. Each of them is a legend in their own right, being handpicked by Levi to help kick ass outside the walls. There's also Hanji and Moblid, both of them being Titan researchers. You also got Gelgar, McKay, Nanaba, and the man, the myth, the legend, the greatest speech artist in the history of Attack on Titan, Commander Ervin Smith, running the show. Hanji asks us to help her capture an experiment on Titans. This grants us access to the Titan Experiment Wing, where we, get this, experiment on Titans. Here we can deliver our captured Titans to Hanji and Moblid to earn EXP and some extra skills, ones that you're going to want, because the final one is just a flat increase to damage dealt to Titans. We also get access to scouting missions. By going to this person in the plaza, you can take any of your allies out on a scouting mission for resources, friendship ranks, and EXP. The best part is, they're all incredibly fun, if a bit repetitive at times. Most just reuse maps from the main story, but hey, fun is fun, and I'm not going to complain. The Titans we captured for Hanji end up dead, killed by someone using ODM gear, a soldier. We're not quite sure who, but Hanji is taking it poorly until we talk about her Eren experiments. Speaking of which, we've been working with Eren, Hanji, and the scouts to help Eren hone his Titan shifting powers. There's just one problem. He can't. No matter how hard he tries, he can't transform. However, when we toss him some bandages to help him cover his now bitten to shit hand, his arm suddenly transforms. While the scouts get aggressive due to Eren transforming without permission at this point, Titans begin to close in. We have to protect Eren while they try to get his arm out. Thus begins another mission. This is a solid and enjoyable one that shows off more of the varying mission objectives we'll see in the future. Plus, the actual battlefield design is incredibly fun to maneuver around. After a while, Eren manages to fully transform. I didn't bring it up earlier when we were fighting alongside him during his first transformation, but working alongside a Titan to take out other Titans, it's just so fucking cool. Every single hit that they do has an insane amount of impact, and the Titans that do get hit react exactly how you would expect to it. It's not just some generic animation layered on top of getting punched. You just you feel how visceral a lot of these animations are, and I fucking love it. But whatever, we gotta get back to the story. Eren couldn't transform earlier into the experiment, and Hanji hypothesizes that it's because he didn't have a purpose, a true goal or aim at the time. The moment those Titans showed up, however, he immediately transformed. That's just something for us to think about in the future. And with that done, time jumps forward once more.
I 本日私が話すのは率直に言えば調査兵団への勧誘だ。諸君らはすでに巨人の恐怖も己の限界も知ってしまったことだろう。しかし人類はこれまでにないほど勝利へと前進した。エレン・イエーガーの存在だ。我々は彼と共にウォールマリアの奪還を目指す。今期の新兵にも1ヶ月後の壁外調査に参加してもらう。そこで死亡する確率は約3割。4年後にはほとんどが死ぬだろう。この惨状を知った上で自分の命を賭してもやるという者はこの場に残ってくれ。以上だ。他の兵団の志願者は解散したまえ。君たちは死ねと言われたら死ねるのか。死にたくありません。そうか、みんないい表情だ。では今ここにいる者を新たな調査兵団として迎え入れる。これが本物の敬礼だ。心臓を捧げよう。はっ。
We are now officially, because we were only kind of semi-official before this, officially joining the Scouts, along with Connie, Sasha, Raina, Berthold, Jean, Mikasa, Armin, Krista, and Ymir. Eren gets to finally see everyone again after being with us and the Scouts for so long and learns of many of our allies' deaths, and while it shakes him, Jean and the rest of our friends make it known that we need him. His abilities are going to be the key to getting humanity's freedom back from the Titans. He needs to be something worth dying for. This puts a new fire into his heart, burning just as brightly as his desire to eradicate the Titans. With everyone finally together again, we head out on the 57th expedition beyond the walls. We're to use Commander Ervin Smith's own formation, the long-distance enemy scouting formation. We join the support team with McKay and clear out the nearby Titans to help our allies get out and into the actual formation. This is the first mission of the 57th expedition. Clear out Titans while our allies make their way to the target location. It's quick, simple, and pretty fun to traverse. Nothing particularly spectacular though, and that's fine. Not everything needs to be insanely good. Even after we get everyone to their designated locations, there's a general feeling of unease. Something feels off, but nobody's quite sure what. Aaron is with Levi's squad at the very center of the formation, but we've been told he's at a different section. Of course, this is unknown to pretty much everyone but Levi's squad, and even then, they haven't been told by Levi or Ervin why exactly everyone got differing info. We branch off from the support team to make our way to the proper squad we're supposed to be in, only to discover there's far more Titans on the way than previously thought. The recon team didn't warn anyone about these Titans, indicating that something is absolutely up here. We find our way from squad to squad, eventually meeting up with Jean, Armin, and Reiner, where we finally learn just how bad this situation is. Out of nowhere, a female Titan with what seems to be some level of intelligence rushes down the fields and begins tearing everything down, killing everyone except for us, Armin, Jean, Reina, though Reina barely escaped with his life. The female Titan almost took out Armin too, before suddenly lifting his hood to look at his face before changing direction and booking it away from us. We chase after it and take it down with the help of Armin, Jean, and the aforementioned Reina near-death experience. However, displaying incredible amounts of stamina, the female Titan keeps going, seemingly changing its destination. It's going to the center rank. The female Titan started by attacking the rightmost wing of the formation, where everyone was told Aaron was. Armin hypothesized that it wouldn't make sense to put such an important asset there. They'd put him in Levi's squad. And that's exactly where she seems to be going. We have to go find the central formation, because if the female Titan gets there before we do, we may just be one step closer to the death of humanity. I mean, we'll be fine as long as shit doesn't hit the fan, right? Right? We finally get the message to Levi's squad and Aaron, linking up with them as we're given the directive to protect Aaron at all cost, even if it means giving up our own life. With the female Titan closing in, Aaron begins to wonder if turning into Titan form is worth it, and he's told by Levi that it's his call. Aaron contemplates for a bit before putting his trust in his allies like they trust him. The female Titan finally blasts through the forest before getting caught by the scouts in a trap planned to catch it. It moves to guard the nape of its neck and screams out suddenly, causing Titans to be drawn directly into the forest. Our new orders are to protect the female Titan and stop the Titans currently advancing into the forest. This mission tragically falls flat. I'm really not gonna lie with you here. It's incredibly difficult to actually fail this mission objective. In fact, a hefty majority of my footage is just me sitting around against a tree because I completed the objective in less than half the time that they gave me to do it. You have to try to fail this mission. And that kind of sucks, because without the feeling of failure, or the feeling of impending failure that you could possibly have, the mission loses a lot of its spark. There's just too many. Ervin gives the order to retreat. The female Titan seems to be devoured by the other Titans, but Ervin proposes something. We only saw the female Titan get devoured, not the person within it. The intelligence of the female Titan suggests that it's actually a Titan shifter, a human with the ability to turn into a Titan, just like Aaron. And that means that they're probably still out there, using the mask of a scout regiment member to infiltrate. We need a plan to draw them out, but before anything else can even be brought up.
誰だ?
ここで惨めに死ね。
クソ女型に報いよ。見たか、すげえ。あの女型が一方的にとどめだ。
なんでよ。
ペトラ、早く体勢を直せ。おい、死ね。なぜだ、刃が通らねえ。俺が選択を間違えたからみんな死んだ。こいつを殺す。
行かないで。
And just like that, everyone in Levi's squad, aside from Levi himself, that we thought was the absolute top of the top, is dead in literal seconds. I actually really like how they do this scene in the game in comparison to the anime and manga, because they do not give you any extra time to dwell on it. In the anime, it goes back and it focuses on the dead bodies just a little bit. But in this, you are literally seeing them die, and then you have to fucking go. There is no time to mourn right now, and I love that. It channels the energy of this entire section so perfectly. Love this game. Eren transforms into a Titan to fight the female Titan, but ends up getting bodied and eaten. We fight the female Titan one more time to free Eren before fully retreating. Returning within the walls, the scouts are ordered to hand Eren over to the authorities due to their failure. But before that can happen, Eren comes up with a plan to stop that transfer in its tracks. And that means revealing who the female Titan is. Annie Leonhardt. She's the only one it could be. When the Titans we captured for Hanji were killed, everyone went through equipment inspection. Annie turned in Marco's at the time to make up for the fact that she used her ODM gear to kill the Titans. She's the only person who fights like the female Titan has. It's her. The plan goes south almost immediately as she transforms into her Titan form and begins to run through the Stohas district as she tries to escape. We won't let her. I'm not sure what it is with the female Titan missions in this game, but they're probably the worst ones. And that's not to say that they're actively bad missions, because they are still enjoyable to an extent. I really don't think that there's an actual bad mission in this game, but there are boring ones, and this one definitely is boring. You just chase Annie for like 7 to 8 minutes, and then Aaron shows up and he punches her a lot, and then you stab her in the neck, and then the mission's done. It's really boring. Like really, really boring. Chasing her down is the most enjoyable part.
あいつ壁を乗り越える気か。行かせない。兄、落ちて。なんだエレン。エレン。ミカサ、兄は。ワイヤーでネットを作れ。これを縛って地下に運ぶ。そっちを抑えろ。君も手が空いてるなら手伝う。ん？あれはなんで君が中に。何？ちょっと待って。あれはたまたまあそこだけにいたの。もしそうじゃなきゃ壁の中すべてに巨人が。あなたは憎しさえ。あの巨人に日光を当てるな。
This isn't over. Not nearly. Annie is shot away within an incredibly strong crystal. There's Titan shifters hiding amongst our allies. Who's to say that there isn't more? On top of that, when Annie started climbing the walls, it caused immense damage to it. Enough damage to reveal a Titan. A Titan physically within the wall. While we were doing our covert mission, the rest of our friends were sent off to a small installation to the south of Wall Rose, alongside McKay, Gelgar, and Nanaba, amongst several other scouts. While Ervin and co work on cleaning up Stohess, we're sent to personally tell McKay that the plan for the female Titan was successful. Except it really can never be that simple in the world of Attack on Titan. Titans are somehow within Wall Rose already. And that's not good. Our friends are now stuck without ODM gear in the middle of Titan-infested territory. If Titans really have breached Wall Rose, then our one success we just had is now worth absolutely nothing. Alongside McKay and his squad, we're to fend off the Titans while the rest of the 104th head out to their respective assignments and look for survivors. This mission line is in my top 3 of the entire game. First up, defending our friends. We slowly make our way through the area and do our best to avoid Titans, not to take them all out. We have unarmed people with us. Drawing in Titans would only serve to kill them faster. Move from checkpoint to checkpoint and take out only the necessary Titans to eventually allow our allies the escape they desperately need. McKay stays behind to take out the Titans while we rush out to help our friends. McKay doesn't come back from this. Gelgar and Nanaba head south and west respectively, while we're sent north to help out Sasha at her village. This splits us up, but it needs to be done if we want to walk out of this alive.
ださい。もう大丈夫ですよ。
何が？
それはあれ嘘でしょ。そんな、待ってくださいよ。さあ走ってください。大丈夫ですから。
なんで？
あなたを助けてくれる人は必ずいる。さあ行って。走らんかい。
Just need to say once again that this mission line is one of my favorites. We have one goal initially: help Sasha and the child she rescued from her village. Then, as the mission goes on, you get more and more side missions popping up further and further from your unarmed friends. Doing those side missions will get you assistance from the garrison regiment, who have arrived just in time to help us out. It becomes a game of ping-ponging between objectives and side objectives, taking down the most necessary titans before heading out and taking them out on the furthest points to get you a higher rank and more health. After a while, a large abnormal spawns in that zeroes in on the child, requiring you to take it down as fast as you possibly can. I fucking love this mission. Genuinely one of my favorites in the entire game. When we finish up the mission, you get some funny interactions with Sasha before joining up with the garrison regiment and helping them back up their defensive line. This is probably the only real low point of the mission line. You're paired up with Rico, Hannes, and Kits to take down Titans as you gradually build up more and more defense and fortification against them. Eventually, take down the final abnormal, and you can move right along. There's not much else to it aside from that. I love it still, though.
南藩はその後も捜索を続けたが、破壊箇所を特定できぬまま、逆方向から壁沿いに南下してきた七羽たち西藩と合流した。長時間にわたる捜索のために疲労も限界に達していた調査兵たちはボールローゼにほど近い古城ウトガルド城で休息を取ることにした。
There's no breach in the walls. Absolutely none of this makes sense, but we don't have a ton of time to think about it. We're fit to drop by now. We end up camping out in the abandoned ruins of Utgard Castle after meeting up with the other squads. We get some really nice interactions with our friends here, especially just this little bit where they straight up just ask you if you're doing okay, and you just say no, because who the fuck would be at this point? We get some rest. Some. It's interrupted just as quickly as it began when we're told that Titans are approaching from all directions, along with something else entirely, the Beast Titan. It's making its way over to the wall in the distance. We don't have time to worry about though. Titans are closing in, and we can't die here.
Yo よくやった方だと思ってる。すまねえ、お前ら。もう力入んねえ。
のか。
よかった、無事で。
先輩たちがやられた。
よせクリスタ、もう塔が崩れそうなんだ。落ちちまうぞ。
でも私たちの身代わりにナナバさんが、ユルガーさんが。
くそ。
コニー、ナイフを貸してくれ。
ほらよ、何に使うんだよそれ。
ありがとよ。まあそりゃ戦うんだよ、これで。
ユミル、何するつもりだ。
さあな、自分でもよくわからん。クリスタ、これはただの私の願望なんだがな。お前、胸張って生きろよ。
嘘だろ。
More fucking shifters, just like we thought. The mirror is here to help us, or at least help Krista. So we jump out and help her, taking down Titan after Titan with her assistance until she runs out of steam and begins to get overrun. Krista gets Amir to tear down the tower they're all hiding in, to which she does, and everybody survives by jumping onto Amir's back. With the scouts finally arriving outside the walls, we can finally start winning this battle. I just want to talk about how fucking good this mission is. It's good. The battlefield itself is perfect. The side missions are perfect. They gradually more and more helpless feeling as you play. Perfect. Fighting alongside Amira in her Titan form? Do I really need to say it? And then the scouts arrived to help us finally turn the tide, and it's just so fucking good, man. I love this mission. It's unironically within the top 3. It's perfect. It's awesome. I have no complaints about it. It's good. Play the game for this mission, if nothing else. With Amir injured and the cadets safe, we make our way back to Wall Rose to try to recuperate. However, if we've learned anything by now, it's that every victory, no matter how small, is thrown to the side by another loss.
話があるんだが。
まさかついに地下を掘る巨人が現れたんだとしたら大変だ。
そうなると位置を特定するのは困難ですね。
俺が鎧の巨人で、こいつが超大型巨人ってやつだ。俺たちは5年前、壁を破壊して人類への攻撃を始めた。俺たちの目的は、壁の中の人類すべてに消えてもらうことだったんだが。エレン、 お前が俺たちの故郷に一緒に来てくれるなら、俺たちはもう壁を壊したりしなくていいんだ。どうだエレン、悪い話じゃないだろう。ひとまず危機が去るんだからな。
どうだろうな。お前さ、疲れてんだよなあベルトルト。こうなってもおかしくないくらい大変だったんだろ。
ああ、ライナーは疲れてるんだ。
大体な、お前が人類を殺しまくった鎧の巨人ならなんでそんな相談を俺にしなくちゃなんねんだ。
戦士として最後まで責任を果たすことだ。ライナー、やるんだな、今ここで。ああ、勝負は今ここで決める。ベルトルト、ライナー、ベルトルト、この裏切り者が。
This section is one I want to talk about. As you know by now, this is by far one of the single most iconic moments in all of Attack on Titan. Reina and Berthold reveal that they're the Titans responsible for the attack on Shiganshina that started this whole ordeal, the Armored and the Colossal. In the anime, it's one of the single most powerful and shocking moments for the viewer in the entire series, helped in no small part by the absolutely incredible soundtrack and the lack thereof leading to the reveal before exploding into the track as Reina shows his conviction. Here though, it falls oddly flat in comparison. It tries its best to do the same thing, but the music here just doesn't work for the moment. In fact, I'd say the soundtrack is the worst part of Attack on Titan 2. Without the anime soundtrack to back up many of these crucial moments, playing Attack on Titan 2 after watching the anime makes these moments feel far less impactful. That's not to say that the soundtrack is bad, of course, just that the less than ideal music they use at times hurts a lot of story beats. That's in stark contrast to the mission itself. When the music from the cutscene fades out and we're left on the wall facing down the Colossal Titan, the soundtrack turns absolutely haunting. We are forced to play slowly and methodically as a high-pitched choir plays. We have to gradually make our way to the Colossal as it shoots steam and rocks out directly towards us. Our gas is completely empty and we can't anchor onto anything. It's entirely reliant on timing and patience. For the first time in the game, we're not given music to inspire or pump us up. Colossal Titan is one of the single most terrifying threats in the history of humanity, and this entire section reflects that by taking away the gameplay loop you're so used to and putting the ball in the court of the Titans for the first time in the entire game. Even in the defense of Utgard Castle, you had a Titan shifter to help you, and bases to act as artillery and resupply on your dwindling resources. The section here isn't hard by any means, but it feels hard. It feels terrifying. And that's perfect. All the while, you feel like you're on a timer, because down below the wall, Eren and Reina are duking it out. When we do finally close the distance, we manage to slash the Colossal's nape before being sent down the wall to help Eren. I'm sure the armored fight here was meant to be more difficult than it ended up being for me, but I took him out without a bunch of extra effort. And I'm just gonna narrow it down to me having hilariously upgraded weapons at the time. And the lore though, Eren weakened him a lot. Totally. Yeah. Yep, definitely. That's what happened.
何を無駄なあがきだ。止まった。あの位置は周囲を警戒しろ。巨人を呼んだぞ。周囲に他の巨人は見当たりません。上だ、避けろ。
The remains of the Colossal tilt and fall off the wall, landing directly on top of Eren and Reina. They've taken Eren, they've taken Ymir, they broke our trust, and they lied to everyone. They're going to die. They've gone to the forest of giant trees to rest and recuperate from the battle. We're going to find them, rescue Eren and Ymir, and get home no matter the cost. Mikasa and Armin are both emotional over Eren continuing to run off on his own and getting into trouble. This is where Hannes appears. He is essentially their parental figure, given how all of theirs, much like ours, are, you know. He saved Eren and Mikasa from Shiganshina during the first attack and got to watch them grow up. It's just kind of important to know that by now because, you know.
ハンジ、説明を。
彼らの目的地をウォールマリアの向こう側、そして目的地までたどり着くだけの体力が残っていないと仮定しよう。ならば彼らはこの先にある小規模な巨大樹の森。
そうか。あれだけ戦った後だからきっと消耗してる。
ああ。ならばどこか巨人の手の届かないところで休みたいと思うんじゃないか。巨人が動かなくなる夜まで。夜までだ。夜までに森に着けばまだ間に合うかもしれない。
As we close in on the forest, Erwin orders us to only kill abnormal titans, no pure titans for some reason. We follow orders. After several minutes of this, Erwin orders every squad to have the titans follow him.
お前ら今まで何考えてたんだ。
こいつらは人類の害、それで十分。
誰が人なんか殺したいと思うんだ。確かにみんな騙した。謝る資格なんてあるわけないけど、誰かお願いだ。誰か僕らを見つけてくれ。
ベルトルト、エレンを返して。
ダメだ、できない。お前らそこから離れろ。信じらんねえ。どういうつもりだエルヴィン。巨人を引き連れてきやがった。
If Amir is with them, then she needs to go down too. Krista asks us not to kill her, but she does need to be taken out of commission. The Jaw Titan is fast and erratic, but we take it down like we have all the rest. Weak points are harder to hit because of how fast it moves around, but just focus on boosting in when it slows down and you'll be right good to go.
鎧の巨人に取り付け。
エレン、今行くから。
やっとここまで来たんだ。故郷に帰るんだ。
ベルトルト。いいの二人とも仲間を置き去りにしたまま故郷に帰って兄を置いていくの。兄なら今地下深くに幽閉されて拷問を受けてるよ。今この瞬間にも兄の体には休む暇もなく様々な拷問が。
悪魔の末裔が根絶やしにしてる。あいつはあの日母さんを撃った。見てろよ、お前らの母ちゃんの仇を俺がぶっ殺すところ。ハネさん、ミカさん、俺の拘束を解いてくれ。早く。俺がやんなくちゃなんねんだ。俺が蹴りをつけねえと。今巨人になれなきゃ意味ねえだろ。俺が今。母さん、俺は何にもできないままだったよ。
エレン、聞いて。伝えたいことがある。私と一緒にいてくれてありがとう。私に生き方を教えてくれてありがとう。私にマフラーを巻いてくれてありがとう。
そんなもん何度でも巻いてやる。これからもずっと俺が何度でも。
られてるの。
最悪だ。よりによって座標が最悪のやつの手に渡っちまった。絶対に取り戻さねえと。この世で一番それを持っちゃいけねえのはエレン、お前だ。
The final battle of the base game. Defending Eren from the Armored and the Titans he throws at us. Every second, more Titans appear to close in on our allies. Every second, we're one step closer to death. But if there's anything that we do in the face of death, it's fight. Fly between Titan to Titan, distract other Titans with your assist actions, use flashbangs to get away and resupply, anything to defend one of the last hopes of humanity. All the while, Eren uses the power of the coordinate to force Titans back at the Armored Titan. It's when the Armored begins to close in that we take the fight to him. Alongside our allies, we will take him out.
Go.
その時ユミルが取った行動の意味は分からなかったが、鎧の巨人がそれ以上追ってくることはなかった。
ラガコ村での調査結果が出ました。ラガコ村出身の彼に確認してもらったのですが、やはり今回出現した巨人の正体は村の住人である可能性が高いと思われます。
つまり巨人の正体は人間であると。
まだ確証はありませんが。
エルビー、お前何を笑ってやがる。
ああ、なんでもないさ。我々はいずれ突き破る。真実を隠している壁を。
And that's where the base game ends. Normally, I'd talk about the ending right here, but we do have a DLC to cover that really finishes the story of this game. So, let's talk about it. An undisclosed amount of time later, there's word that Titans are heading directly to Wall Cena, the single centermost wall. If that wall falls, it's over.
敵の数はどうだ。まあ聞くまでもねえか。
私たち本当に最前線で戦うんですか。
あんな大軍相手にどうやって勝つってんだよ。
やるしかない。ここを突破されたら人類は。
注目。これより我々は巨人との決戦に臨む。ウォールシーナの陥落は すなわち人類の滅亡を意味する。ならば我らが今すべきことは一つ。最後の一瞬まで抗い人類の愛する者の未来を守ることである。皆心して戦え。心臓を捧げよう。
Something you've probably noticed by now. This is a game original plot point. In the original series, after the fight to reclaim Aaron, Rhina goes and fights the Beast Titan in his armored Titan form to decide what to do next. The Beast wins, and we get what happens in the main series. The story here, though, is different. What if Rhina won that fight? This is the final section of our journal. The battle begins with us taking out Titans as they approach our frontline base. They all need to be destroyed before they get close, and if they do, we're one step closer to extinction. It's not long before the Beast Titan appears, hurtling rocks towards us from the backlines. We have to branch away from the main defense and take him down if we want those rocks to stop. His defense is much higher than it was at Utgard, and his damage is significantly higher as well. But none of that changes the fact that he has to be driven off. We hold the Titans off for a while until the familiar lightning-esque lights appear from inside the city walls. It's the Colossal Titan, fully transformed and making its way steadily to the outer gate to break it down and allow Titans in. We're forced to now jump between defending the outer wall and taking down the Colossal. Each and every single one of its weak points needs to go down before we can get a shot at its mate. And if it reaches the outer gate, it's game over.
やはりそれが狙いか。リヴァイ。クソが。おい、立てエレ。
Aaron, leaping off the wall and transforming into his Titan, brings us to the final stage of this battle. Retaking Annie means they win. Every death, every loss, every small victory we've taken will be for absolutely nothing, and we cannot let that happen. At the same time, the Beast Titan returns to the battlefield and continues its ranged assault. We rush across the battlefield and take it out as soon as possible to reduce the damage we could take from it. The Armored Titan remains our final objective. He has to go down. He will go down, no matter the cost.
Yoshi, 鎧の巨人の動きが止まったか。みんな、よくやってくれた。
急いで兄を運ぶぞ。
今は兄の奪還が優先だ。気持ちは痛いほどわかるけどこらえてくれ。
コニー、もっと早く。
こんなもん乗せて早く走れるかよ。
待って、何するつもり？
これはあいつの。
この世界は元から地獄だ。強い者が弱い者を食らう。親切なくらい分かりやすい世界。そんな残酷な世界で強くあろうとした者がいた。その兵士は最後まで戦い続けた。
エレン、
ああ、今行く。あいつ結局帰ってこなかったな。
正直もう望みは薄い。
帰ってきますよ。きっと必ず。
必ず取り戻すよ、俺たちの故郷を。
This right here is my favorite moment in the entire game. It showcases one of the biggest tragedies that remains throughout the entire story of Attack on Titan. Dreams are shattered as quickly as they are born. We don't get to avenge the people who die. We don't get to see our allies escape. We don't achieve our dream. The Armored, the Colossal, the Beast, they all escape and continue to fight. Our only success is maintaining the status quo. Sure, we have Annie still. We have our walls. But have we gotten anywhere? No. And while that sounds like a bad ending, it's really not. It's just like Attack on Titan. It's a nihilistic vision of a cruel, cruel world, where the only beauty in that cruelty is that our sacrifice inspires our allies to fight harder to still live on. Maybe a form of hope does survive. After the credits roll, we see this. It's left up to interpretation if this is someone else or us reaching for our hood and sword, but seeing as we've only ever seen through our eyes and nobody else's, I'd say it's safe to assume it's us. And that, my friends, is where the story of an unknown soldier comes to a close. I fucking love this game. Sure, it's not perfect. It has its flaws, but at the same time, it has so much good in it. From the flow of combat, to the visual style, to the story beats, to the writing, it all feels like an absolutely perfect way to play through the story. That said, on its own, without any prior knowledge of it, it could do better. I'm well aware it's meant to be a secondary experience to play after consuming the original media, and that's fine, but still, from a storytelling perspective, we learn and see significantly less than we do in the main story. In fact, in this, there's not even a single mention of the basement in Shiganshina, nor of the key around Aaron's neck, at least not within this version of the story mode. The story itself is still incredibly fun to play through though, especially with all the added personal interactions we have in the game that we would never see in the anime or manga. Interactions with characters who pass early into the series, interactions with side characters who get barely any extra info about them. It makes me wonder, if we really did live at the end, how did we react to the events of the second Shiganshina incident? Were we even there? How would we react to finally seeing the ocean? How would we react to Aaron's steady decline into what he would become in the final seasons? How would we react to the rumbling? Hell, how would we react to Reina living for so long knowing that he's the thing that killed those that we love the most? It's a genuinely incredibly interesting thing to think about. And honestly, I unironically fucking love this game. The best part is, for the first time since I started this channel, I can finally say you can easily play the game without using emulation. It's on pretty much all major platforms. In fact, even though you've heard the story from this video, there's still so much more content to play on your own. The online multiplayer, the character stories, and so much more. The post-game to the original character story even allows you to go back and save anyone who died. Marco, Thomas, Mina, Hannes, literally everyone who dies can be saved. It's all just so genuinely good that I can't fault all too much of the game because the flaws are overshadowed by just how fun it is. The only thing that I really can complain about was the soundtrack not hitting as hard as it could, but if you really want to fix that, genuinely just put on some music from the anime, turn the game music down, and play. Anyways, with that said, that's going to be the end of the video. As you know by now, this is the part where I go off script and rant, and I'm going to take this fucking recording blanket off because I've had this over my setup and it's sweaty as shit now. Sorry for the echo that's about to entail. It's been a bit since my last upload. I apologize for that. I had a video about the Sega Dreamcast planned, and I actually bought a Dreamcast for it. Then I realized that I don't, A, have any games for it, B, don't have the VMU for it, and C, the video sucked, so I got rid of it. Maybe I'll redo it in the future. If that's something you're interested in seeing, a video about the console that nearly killed the company, let me know in the comments, because I actually, I want to make it, but it's going to be tough to do. Other than that, I've realized I'm going to become the anime video game guy. Not that I'm complaining, I actually really do like this section of YouTube, because pretty much everybody on here is chill as shit. I really appreciate everybody in the comments because it's been surprisingly non-toxic, all things considered, even though I made a Dragon Ball video where I dissed Captain Ginyu. So thanks. Thanks, I really appreciate it. I have some other videos planned. I have a JoJo's video planned, mostly talking about just the JoJo's fighting games. And then I have another one that's very weird and niche, and I would actually really like to know if you guys would be interested in seeing it. And it's about the arena fighter problem that we have in the anime gaming scene recently. And by recently, I mean for the past, 2 fucking decades. How every single anime game that comes out is an arena fighter. And I just want to talk about that because I don't really like it. But I don't fucking know. That's just your little peek into what I have. I shouldn't say planned. It's mostly just in the concept phase, but I don't know. Other than that, that's all. I'm gonna head on now. Bye.